MediGroup Physician Services presents MediGroup's 5 Questions in 5 Minutes with Healthcare Executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters. Today's guest is Dennis Daar, Managing Partner, Medical Specialties International, LLC. Now here's your host, MediGroup's Frank Gillespie.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome to another edition of 5 in 5. We're here with Dennis Daar, Managing Partner with Medical Strategies International, LLC. Welcome, Dennis. I haven't seen you forever.
It has been a while, Frank, and it is good to be seen. And now that everyone's getting vaccinated, we're getting back on the road and looking forward to seeing people in the near future.
Fantastic, and the same applies to us here as well. So, Dennis, tell us, how long ago did you create Medical Strategies?
So, Medical Strategies is now into our 22nd year. One of the main reasons for starting it was going to have to take a job, and it was going to be a move, and didn't want to move anywhere from beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. And it was a great place to raise a family. And with Tom Filer and Howard Lewis, we started the business.
That is fantastic, and a great history in 20 years is really awesome. And I know your family is very important to you in the Cleveland area. That's where I first started to get to know you and got to see updates on the grandbabies and all of that. So it's really cool. So Dennis, that's awesome. So Dennis, as managing partner with MSI, what do you specifically do for MSI and its customers?
So MSI is a 5-person team that assists its clients with gaining and implementing GPO, IDN, regional purchasing contracts, as well as agreements with the VA and Department of Defense. And each partner works with all of their clients. And as managing partner, sort of the one that works on the contracts in addition to helping clients, as well as payroll and the office type paperwork, as well as participating in several committees within the healthcare organizations.
Understood. And I just learned something here. I didn't realize that you also did the government contracting as well. That's a very specialized niche, if you will. So I didn't realize that. That's very interesting. Mm-hmm. Dennis, what are a couple of key things that MSI looks for when scouting for new suppliers to represent?
So it's the type of business where you just can't take on a lot of clients. It's a onesie, twosie type as far as, looking to grow the business. Because with 5 people, there's only so many clients that you can work with. But typically, our clients come from recommendations from current or past clients, as well as from people such as yourself, from the provider side, from the GPOs and IDNs. So that's really how we have our pipeline of potential clients coming in. And then once that comes to us, we would take a look at their product and service, make sure we have no conflicts with existing clients because you can't have an overlap. And then once we make sure that there's no conflicts, we learn about their value proposition. And then we go to, again, people such as yourself on the provider side to see if that product or service would be beneficial to the membership of that organization. And if it does, then we would then look at doing a contract and becoming partners.
Fantastic. And we have had that opportunity a number of times to work with your organization. And it's very organized and great people, Trey and Ken and folks like that, and yourself, of course. So it's always been a great experience for us as well. And we appreciate and respect that. Thank you. So Dennis, how challenging was it to find suppliers to represent during the pandemic? And that's probably a loaded question. And are you seeing any changes now that the vaccine has started to have an impact?
So yes, it has been provided challenges for us. So a year ago, when first few months of COVID, especially for capital clients, we lost a few clients because they were very hurting because all the money was going to PPE products,
right,
and overpaying for those type of products. However, then by midsummer, a lot of the smaller size companies, mid-sized companies were having difficulty gaining access to that GPO IDN customer. And because we've been doing it for a long time, our access is pretty good. It could always be better, but it's pretty good. And so then we gain new clients because of that situation. And even though the vaccine is here, the problem is still relevant to the majority of healthcare suppliers because raw materials, finished goods, and shipping prices have just skyrocketed, and that's really put a hurt on the margins. And I know from the provider side, margins got destroyed by PPE products, but it's the same on the supplier side. And I think in the near future, the fixed firm pricing for 3 years has to be changed through force majeure because it can't be sustained.
Understood and understand what you're saying, and certainly change sounds like it's going to beget change, further change in terms of how things have historically been done, and then with the advent of the pandemic changing that paradigm to some extent, the change is going to beget change, I think. So appreciate that. And you guys seem like you have worked well and come through the other side, and still coming through the other side, but still strong as can be, and that's fantastic. Okay, Dennis, last question. I told you we'd do 5 and try to keep it within 5. So last question, what's the best wine to recommend at dinner after landing that large new supplier to represent?
Wow, you've asked the right person.
I know.
Since wine's my hobby, I guess it's going to start with who's the guest that we're having the dinner with, and some of their preferences. My selections vary. I mean, from any type of wine, especially wine I haven't tried. But if we were having dinner together, and we would probably start with a Pinot Noir,
okay,
and finish with a Cab or a blend.
Very nice.
You have to have more than one bottle. That's one of the nice things of having dinner with multiple people, that you can have a little bit of several different wines, and that's the fun of tasting.
Well, I've been blessed to have an opportunity to have dinner with you a couple of times, and you are a man who knows his wine. So it's always an honor. It's always a pleasure, Dennis. I really thank you very, very much for sharing a part of your day with us today. And again, I haven't seen you for over a year, so it's just awesome. Even though it's limited in this way, it's good to see you again. You look great, and I hope the grandbabies are doing well.
Thank you. We're up to 7. So
oh, wow.
7 this last month.
That's fantastic. Well, please keep in touch, and don't be a stranger, and tell the rest of the team we at MediGroup said hello.
And say hello to the MediGroup team for me.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Take care. Good to see you.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This has been MediGroup's 5 Questions in 5 Minutes with Healthcare Executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters, and hosted by Frank Gillespie. Special thanks to Dennis Daar, Managing Partner with Medical Specialties International, LLC. This has been a presentation of MediGroup Physician Services.